Do you want to grow your private clinical practice? Well, if so, one of the fastest ways to do this is to niche down on the kind of patients you're seeing. It's really tempting when you're starting out to want to cast your net wide when it comes to seeing patients. And the motivation behind this is that you want to grow a practice quickly. And you think also, I quite like a bit of variety, and I can help lots of people. Now, this strategy might work if you're the sole clinician on an island and patients have no other choice than to come and see you for their care. But most of us don't live on a little island, wouldn't that be nice? And actually, by setting our net wide, all that we're doing is saying to patients that we're a generalist, when actually they want to see a specialist for their problem. When your website has lots of content with lots of keywords that patients are punching into Google when they want their problem solved, you're going to show up higher in search, and guess what? Patients are going to book in with you. It's really important to find your niche or niche areas and then talk about it in lots of places. So on social media, in websites, in emails that you're sending out. But many people don't do this. When I'm coaching clinicians, many of them have a fear that they're going to deter people and send people away. They're going to have no trade. And that's so not the case. And when you try to be all things to all people, guess what? You end up attracting nobody. Patients don't really care that you like to see a variety of problems, and they don't really care that you can help lots of people. They just want to know that you can help them with their particular problem. And while it's absolutely fantastic to have word of mouth recommendations and referrals from other clinicians, you can't scale that. And if you're the kind of clinician who treats problems that people generally don't feel comfortable talking about, the acid test being, would I talk to one of my work colleagues about this? Anal fissures, that sort of thing. Then it's really, really important that you get found in search, because that person's best mate probably isn't going to be chatting with them about it. So how do you go about thinking about settling on your niche? The first thing to remember is you don't have to commit to this for life. All of us change gradually over time in private practice. You might have started out loving one thing and now you like that thing, but with these kind of people. Now, sometimes a niche is a clinical condition. Sometimes it's the kind of patient you like treating, and sometimes it's how you personally deliver that care. So you don't have to invent something brand new and shiny that other people aren't doing. It's who you treat, how you treat, and the way you treat that counts. Those can be a niche. And it's okay to have 1 or 2 or even 3 niche areas. So start out by making a big list of the key interests in your clinical sphere, things you really love treating. Think about the kinds of people you really love treating, and then see if there's some overlap. Are there some common themes? So for example, I love treating runners, but I also like treating runners who are late middle-aged women who are a bit angry about their lateral hip pain, and I like treating runners who are completely obsessive and have disordered eating. Maybe that's something that would send you running for the hills, but I like it. So there's no point setting out in private practice treating people that we think, okay, great, that's going to bring a lot of money into the bank, but actually if they end up being a complete pain in the bum to you and your staff, then it's going to be a pretty miserable private practice journey. So the next step is to think about people you definitely don't want to treat, and things you don't want to treat, and conditions that are probably going to cause you hassle. So in your NHS life, you might quite like dealing with really complex diabetic foot reconstructions, but actually when you're working in private practice, do you really want to spend every weekend at the private hospital checking up on those cases? So be honest with yourself about the things you enjoy treating, and also you've got to have a bit of a commercial sense about this. So there's no point seeing lots and lots of rare things that aren't going to pay you lots of money. And also you have to think about the longevity of those patients. Are they likely to come back to see you again in the future, or is this just a one-off of your neck because you got torticollis? If you're still feeling stumped, ask a colleague that you know, love and trust and say, what do you think I am really good at? What would you say are my niche areas? They may give you an answer you weren't thinking of. And remember that sometimes there's something out there we really want to be doing, but because of our kind of inner imposter, we think, I can't set up a practice doing that because my old boss works down the road at that same hospital. He can't see me doing this same service. Yes, you can do it. So as you go through this process, narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 niche areas, niche kinds of things you like treating, and then make sure you're talking about it on your website and in your social media. Refining and promoting your niche will attract the right patients, deter the wrong ones, and actually, paradoxically, it's going to help you to grow your private practice a lot faster.